We have less than 90 million beef cattle in America right now. Our beef herd is smaller than it was in like 1991.
How?
Killing off small
Got like almost 100 million more people. Maybe 100 million. I mean, because there's so much lying about population.
Right.
Because there's so many illegal aliens here. But we have a much larger population than we had in 91.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what is it? It's like 330 million or something?
I mean, I'd say 360, but like go outside.
I know.
It's insanely crowded. So there's just, as with GDP and inflation and every other relevant number from which we make decisions about how to run the country, it's a lie. Population is, I think, the biggest of all lies. Now we're saying, 3 years ago, we've got 10 million illegal aliens. We've had 10 million illegal aliens for 30 years. And now, since Trump got in, they're like admitting, I think it's more like 60 or 65 million illegal aliens, foreign nationals living here in violation of our law. So anyway, sorry.
No.
Pardon the lecture, but like,
I agree with you.
We've got more than 330 million people in the United States.
Yeah, and that ties into this whole idea of a housing shortage. Someone said, well, illegals are not impacting housing. And
who said that?
I mean, the leftists were saying this, and one of my buddies had such a good way of countering that. He said, I don't know. I assume these motherfuckers live inside,
Yeah.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So food security is a national security risk. I think Hegseth even endorsed this idea recently that food security is national security to a degree.
Of course, food, water, energy. Those are the building blocks of any society/civilization, food, water, energy. And if you don't have those, that's why people go to war. That's why that's what, migration is about. Everything is about those three things. But only in America that's been rich for so long, people be like, no, it's really about self-esteem or, or whatever. No, it's about food, water, and energy.
Right.
And you think, so our beef herd is smaller than it was 35 years ago.
Yeah.
So why is it? Is that Brazil?
Oh, it's a lot of it is, imported beef and the artificial deflation of prices and due to illegal immigrant labor. Every time they go to one of these packers, it's like 1,600 arrests.
The whole plant is illegal. Yeah,
and you're not going to tell me that these people don't know they're doing that. And then I think there's about 30 plants in the U.S. Process 80% of the beef in this country. So now you're also sort of as a byproduct putting your old local butcher out of business. He can't compete anymore with like $6 hamburger in a tube from Walmart that's got 70 animals packed into it. He can't compete with that either. The local guy can't. It's a huge problem. And then if you add on the sell-off of public lands and squeeze the last of these guys that are hanging on with their small family ranch, it ain't going to get better.
What role does immigration play in this story?
It's fundamental, and both legal and illegal. A thing I would say to right-wingers to really try to think about, these are low population states. They're high land mass, but the population density is extremely low. I think Wyoming, I've said this elsewhere, but I think Wyoming has around 300,000 voters, but that was 300,000 people voting for Trump, which means we don't know what the next turnout will be because he is a once-in-a-lifetime figure. There's only one of that guy. So presumably there's going to be less in the next election cycle. Who knows? Well, 50,000 new votes, if you sell this off and fill it up with illegal or legal immigration, whether it's H-1B, H-2B, whatever, I guess those people aren't voting, but, aren't voting.
Yeah.
And then, illegals or just imports of whatever variety, you flip these. There's not a ton of electoral votes there, but it is.
Wait, so the idea was to take public lands and build housing for immigrants on them?
Well, they say not, but there's a crap load of money going into immigrant resettlement in the West.
We're sorry to say it, but this is not a very safe country. Walk through Oakland or Philadelphia. Yeah, good luck. So most people, when they think about this, want to carry a firearm, and a lot of us do. The problem is there can be massive consequences for that. Ask Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse got off in the end, but he was innocent from the first moment. It was obvious on video, and he was facing life in prison anyway. That's what the anti-gun movement will do. They'll throw you in prison for defending yourself with a firearm. And that's why a lot of Americans are turning to Byrna. It's a proudly American company. Byrna makes self-defense launchers that hundreds of law enforcement departments trust. They've sold over 600,000 pistols, mostly to private citizens who refuse to be empty-handed. These pistols, and I have one, fire rock-hard kinetic rounds or tear gas rounds and peppered projectiles, and they stop a threat from up to 60 feet away. There are no background checks. There are no waiting periods. Byrna can ship it directly to your door. You can't be arrested for defending yourself with a Byrna pistol. Visit Byrna, BYRNA.com, or your local Sportsman's Warehouse to get yours today. Byrna.com.
I say this everywhere, but Rando Land on Twitter, go look at that, and you can see these grants for yourself. It's like 4 million, 15 million, 50 million, whatever, going to all these different NGOs and state governments to put refugees. Like I see burqas in Idaho Falls now.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Idaho Falls was in southeastern Idaho. It's always, I think it was the most Mormon town in the United States, certainly the most Mormon city in the United States.
I had to be up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Had to be.
Like that in Provo or whatever. Old Provo, not New Provo, but you see burqas there?
Yeah, and this is another thing. I always get called a racist, and I don't have to hate someone to not want to be replaced by them or have my children replaced by them. I don't hate
People
them.
are still calling you racist?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Still?
Oh, it's just incredible.
Boy, that's 2021.
I know, yeah. That word's over.
Oh,
dude.
shut up.
I know.
Exactly.
But I don't. And also, here's an important thing to this. That person in a burqa did not choose to live in Idaho Falls, where it's 40 below for a week a year. They moved here from whatever desert, and now they're living in some of the harshest climate in the U.S. They didn't choose that. Someone put them there. And then you have to ask yourself why someone would put them there.
Oh, I've seen a lot of it. Yeah. Let's empty the refugee camps of Somali refugees in Kenya and fly them to Lewiston, Maine, in impoverished, dying mill town full of French Canadians, and just see how that works.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
No, of course not. And I love my people, and I don't want them to be replaced. But from a basic, in terms of politics, practical level, if you flip these states in the West, you're done. You're not winning you're not beating the left with the Electoral College, not without Wyoming, Utah, to some degree Nevada. Like if you lose all of those, if they all go the way Colorado did, it's going to be over.
Yeah. And Colorado's not just a Democrat. It's like affirmatively evil.
Mm-hmm.
We'll take your kids away unless you let them become trannies, kind of thing. It's just like, it's a place that Christians are having trouble living. It's so anti-Christian in Colorado. Yeah.
And some of the best people on earth live there.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. But I'm just saying it has ramifications. It's not just that like, they get, they had a sort of conservative senator. Now they have a sort of liberal senator. It's like, when the revolution comes, they're not joking at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like what we're going through now where it's like, do a Fox News hit and, we're fighting the liberals. Okay. No, It's like, you can't live there anymore if you believe in God. So
are you familiar with the Wolf reintroduction out there in Colorado?
Very familiar.
Yeah. And you know who's driving that. And it's not working. And look at where they put them. They did it via referendum that won by 1%. So the Front Range voted to dump wolves on ranching communities is what they did because they hate them. I mean, that's why.
Why do they hate them? Because the ranchers are just so mean, or just hate the idea of them?
Man, sometimes the left is just hysterical by nature. So it's hard to know if they've just been propagandized into
independent-minded white Christians are the enemy. That's why they hate Russia. It's why they hate the ranchers. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's stop lying.
Yeah, I think that's probably it. And then they also think the cows are destroying the climate. And so beef production is a great evil, despite the fact that beef have largely reoccupied the ecological niche that bison used to. So you're going to have to replace those with something.
I think you're actually giving them too much credit by trying to be rational. It's like they don't think that, Jeff Bezos's G4 fleet is wrecking the environment, but they do think that cow flatulence is. They pick the group they hate, and then they backfill the justification for crushing them. So, it's climate. We hate the ranchers because of climate. No, they hate the ranchers because of who they are.
I agree.
I mean, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.